What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kitchen Chronicles. My name is Billy Floyd, and that's...
I'm the Commodore.
right,
We are
man.
watching Volume 1, Chapter 4. This is the Hurricane Homecoming.
Yes. Oh, that was awesome. That was a. I think
we were the hosts.
Yeah, I think that was our first experience for a show with Sushii and Kayla and Josh. I think that was our first of many, but I think that kind of changed the game, and we were introduced to a new echelon of entertainment, if you will.
As we normally do, we learned something that week.
Many things.
We learned many things that week, but those three names that you said, they all seem to have something in common.
Yeah.
A certain I don't know what. However, the combination of those three awesome, fun, caring, wonderful individuals can get a bit crazy.
Yeah,
it can get a bit chaotic, but in a fun, controlled way.
In a good way. In a pushing the boundaries way.
Yes.
But not even stepping over and
is that
towing
the line?
a little bit.
Is that it right there?
They stepped over with 1 foot, but they still kept like if this is the line right here, and they kept one, they towed it, like they clipped their toe on the line, and they not really necessarily break it, but pull it as far as they could.
And another case of someone that I didn't really know very well.
Yeah.
Most of our hosts I don't really know very well. But you seemed to have more of a past with Sushii and Kaylyn than I did
I mean,
at the time.
especially that show. That show brought a lot of how can I?
There was a lot going on at that time.
There was a lot going on at that time, and
yeah.
These three people, along with myself, had a unified opinion about some things, and it came with high emotions.
It brought us together.
It did. We bonded, which was really good.
Yeah.
It was that was actually the weekend we were supposed to be at Space Coast Comic-Con, but one of the hurricanes, either Matthew or Irma, I believe it was Matthew. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. It was Irma.
It was Irma.
Hurricane Irma. Hurricane Irma came through and did what hurricanes do. They created some craziness, and unfortunately David, Grace, and Jake had to cancel Space Coast Comic-Con, which happens in Cocoa, which is super, super awesome. One of my favorite conventions of the entire year. But we had Hurricane Irma on the way, and rightfully so that time.
They made a good decision.
Hurricane
I
Irma
respect that.
landed, and Hurricane Irma messed some things up, most certainly, and people had to be
ruined
safe.
Our schedule.
He had to cancel the
ruined people's
the Space
homes.
Coast Comic-Con, which in turn canceled our show that Friday night, which is why we had a Hurricane Homecoming. That was the reason that
it seemed like an appropriate title.
Yeah.
Because we were going to be somewhere else, and then there was a hurricane, so we came home.
Yep. And we hadn't been home for
That's how that
2
worked
whole
out.
weeks. We hadn't been.
Which was
three whole
fun.
weeks.
Which
3 whole
was
weeks.
fun, yeah.
So it was kind of nice that it was our first show at home in over a month, which was awesome. I was just so happy we made it a month and we didn't have to come back to our own kitchen. Like, we were getting enough kitchens to where we didn't have to go home for a whole month.
It didn't seem
4 shows.
It didn't seem like at the time that we were going to be able to fill up all those Fridays, but we did.
I even had a conversation with Jimmy right after we first started this, and I was taking his counsel, and I said, do you think we should do it every other week or just once a month? Do you think every Friday's too much? Should we do it every other week? He's like, nope. I was like, should we do it once a month? He's like, nope. I was like, should we do it every week? Yep. I was like, you got it.
Let's do it.
That's what we wanted to do, but I'm glad we stepped out because I didn't know what he was going to say. If he had come back with something different, I at least would have brought it to the table and been like, this was a recommendation, what do we think about this? But since then, we stuck with every single week, and so far we're still avidly traveling to kitchens we had never been in before, and traveling to some kitchens we've been in before, but we're still remote. But this specific one, we were home. And this was an interesting one because we had some guests staying with us for the hurricane, which was Kayla and Sushii. Josh lived about 10-15 minutes away, so he was visiting for that Friday show. We also had Bree Lambert was there. We had our friend Nick Volk, who is also there.
I think it's Kaylyn.
Kaylyn, yeah, definitely. YN Kaylyn.
Yeah.
Do we have a?
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yes, Murray.
I
Kaylyn
forgot
Murray.
Nick Volt was there.
Nick Volt was there. Bree was there.
Great
Bree
Him
Lambert
and
was there.
Victoria. No.
That's Pepe. I think you're talking about
Pepe
Pepe.
is who I'm thinking of.
That's Pepe and Vic.
Nick Volt. Nick was
Anime Bree.
Yeah,
Nick Volt and Anime
they
Bree.
used to be. They used to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I remember now.
So
Anyway.
it's so yeah. Nick Volk was there. Bree Lambert was there. Super cool. Sushii was there. Kaylyn was there. Josh was there. We had a good crew. And Nick and Bree lived locally. They came by. Josh Mullis lived locally. He came by.
Crazy.
Kaylyn and Sushii were from Melbourne, and that's what they were getting away from.
Yeah,
Melbourne.
they were running from the hurricane. They got to spend some time with us. They spent a couple days here, a week.
Yeah, and my
here?
interactions
Almost?
with Sushii were strictly professional. They were all at photo shoots that I
Right.
was kind of just there as an assistant, just helping out. Some of the people. I had some friends there, so just kind of helping out.
You were just there.
Yeah, just there hanging
hey,
out, and there was
you need something?
The other significant others were there as well, and we awkwardly just either stand there or get involved, or just go away and sit down and get on our phones for an hour or 2 hours while the photo shoot takes place.
You're kind of a jump in the mix kind of guy.
If they need
I want to
it.
be involved.
Yeah, if they
I want to
need it.
help if I can.
Like I always make sure I try to be as respectable as possible, because these are all women. These are all women that are here for a specific photo shoot, and the last thing that they need is some dude coming in trying to help out where he's not needed.
Just trying to be a part of it.
I don't want to be that guy. But I was there. My significant other was part of the photo shoot at the time, so I went there and just offered, what can I do to help, or is there anything that I can just let me know? I'll be over here minding my own business until y'all say,
And that's how
hey.
you met Sushii.
Yeah. I had seen Sushii before, but we had never been formally introduced to each other. So that was the first time that we actually met. And
She can be
we
intimidating.
talked to a couple. Oh yeah, for sure. I will say this: she's highly intelligent. I really like Sushii. She
She's
is
super
well
smart.
spoken.
Yeah.
And when she speaks, it is well thought out, precise, surgical words that she uses. She's brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
without a doubt, that it's authentic.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. So she was really cool. She actually, her and one of her other friends had put together that photo shoot. So that's where I met Sushii at the time. But I didn't really know Sushii that well either until she came to the house to crash for the hurricane. I never really spent any time with her, but we kind of bonded digitally over a shared experience.
Mm-hmm.
So we started talking, and we started kind of becoming more friends. And Josh Mullis had gotten involved as well. Josh had been a friend of ours for a while, a friend of mine for a while. He had come to some Billy Floyd shows, and he would make up a shirt every time. He would take a piece of paper, he would draw it,
I
write
remember
something down,
the
and he would
shirts.
staple it to his own shirt.
Shelley, remember? Do you know,
that's
you don't
how,
remember
that's
that?
how, those are some of our
Oh,
first
man.
shirts. Josh Mullis would just draw it on a piece of paper,
So
then he'd
good.
staple it to his to his own shirt. It was so funny. So it was good to see Josh. It was good to see Sushii. It was great to see Kaylyn. She's super cool. Not only did they come, but they brought their little pets as well.
They brought 5 pets.
Yeah, I think we had two puppies
Their
and 3
little
cats.
pets. They were all little,
They were
and I
great,
didn't
man.
see the cats the entire time.
Yeah, they
so
stayed in the
that
room.
was really awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah, they
both
were
of you.
they were really cool, man. They were great.
The dogs were super well behaved.
Yeah.
They got along with your pups.
Yeah, Luke
Luke
and
and
Leia got
Leia.
along with them. It was
Yeah.
it was
General?
General Disarray.
That's right, General
That's
Disarray.
That was such
That's
a good
funny.
name. Such a good name. And Kaylyn had a puppy there too. Super sweet, super adorable. Everybody got along. It was really cool to see all the pups were like running around and playing with each other. That was probably one of my favorite parts of like that series of time, that week, or that they were here, was seeing the puppies play with each other, which was awesome. But that was a good night, man.
There's something in particular that stands out. I don't know if it definitely wasn't the Friday night show, but in that visit with Sushii, like the one thing that I remember,
right,
is the Dragon Ball Z pose.
Oh yeah, the one in the rain.
In the rain, in the backyard, in the middle of a hurricane,
screaming.
What did she had? She had the outfit on, right?
She was turning Super Saiyan. Is pretty
She was
much
turning
what
Super Saiyan.
or she was powering up to turn Super Saiyan. For all you DBZ fans, this is
Yeah, I don't know much about this.
Sushii. So funny. Sushii Savette, Sushii with 2 eyes, and she was in our backyard around. I would say it wasn't even dark. It was still kind of light outside. It wasn't bright because there was a hurricane coming.
It would have been.
storm weather.
It would have. The sun still would have been up.
Yeah,
like
it was,
you
it
just
was
couldn't
storm
see it
weather,
because it was
lots
so
of
cloudy.
cloud
So it was
cover.
kind of dark.
It
Yeah.
was raining heavy. It was coming down. I mean, it was thundering out. It was loud. It had been raining for a while. There's water everywhere. There's puddles everywhere. Hurricane is coming through Orlando at this very moment. Sushii decides brilliantly. She throws on her DBZ attire that she was just relaxing in because they were like pajama shorts. She was just taking it easy. She came up with a phenomenal idea to run into the hurricane and power up as Son Goku would power up. So we have her in the middle of the backyard, in the middle of a hurricane, with her hands stretched to the air, just
Super intense.
It's absolutely
We got video of that,
incredible.
right?
Oh yeah, man. We ran in the hurricane. That was good times. That wasn't the night of the show, but man, that was the same hurricane. But the night of the show was interesting, man. We knew what was going on. We knew the hurricane was going to be hitting us in just a couple days. And I think we were all trying to do our best to appreciate the luxuries that life had to offer when you have power and running water and shots.
Man, we didn't appreciate it. We didn't appreciate it nearly as much as when the power came back on.
Oh no, for sure, man. Oh, yeah,
that week was huge for me. Like that changed my outlook.
How you pregame for hurricanes?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. I've been all over that the last year.
Oh yeah, no, for sure,
because
man.
of that experience. Yeah, I remember like having what we had and like what I should have, like what I was like, man, I should have gotten this, or we should have more of this, and like, whew, scary stuff.
That was and now we have I don't want to say it too loud or where we live because we don't have enough for you, just us, the crew. To sustain ourselves, we will trade you for something that we may need. We will barter for items.
Yeah, our hurricane stash is ever growing.
It's protected.
We actually, Shelly and I, we're starting to work on a list
facial recognition
of stuff that we didn't have that we do need.
Scanners.
You know what the huge thing is that I found in the last couple hurricane seasons? Just a way to boil water.
Physical security.
No electricity and no fire. How do you boil water? Propane.
Sternos,
propane, small stove. You can cook pasta. You can heat up,
make coffee,
meat. You can cook things.
You can disinfect things. Like if you need to boil water to clean something.
Exactly.
If something happens. If you need to use something. And I would say this. One of the things that I never took into consideration. I didn't want to do it because technically I didn't want to bring on a negative thought. But however, I found myself in a mart of walls just on that Friday previous to the hurricane because I wanted to go there for any last minute things. I wanted to get some bins, but ultimately when I went there I wanted to check out some things. So I walk into the mall. Yeah,
Mart of Walls.
The Mart of Walls.
I was like, who's this?
I'm
I thought this was a Game of Thrones reference at first.
I march into the Mart of Walls, and I decide, you know what? I needed to get some polysporin because I always have like a little thing of polysporin just for any itches or scratches or little things like that. And then I started thinking about our medical supplies for a hurricane. What do we have? Mm-hmm. What do we have for medical supplies? If something does happen, I don't want to bring it on, but I want to be prepared.
We've got I think 3 or 4 first aid kits down there. We've actually got we've got 2 trauma kits down there too.
Good. Trauma kits are good. And we all need to know where those things are. So if you guys have stuff for a hurricane, make sure you have a list of it. You have it posted so people know where things are. Because there's nothing like having the solution to a problem and not knowing where it is. And you're just running around be prepared. You're running around like a madman. So I walk into the Mart of Walls and I'm like, sweet, let me get some things. Let me see what we got. I found all these little first aid kits, and I was like, cool, let me get some of those. Let me get some witch hazel. Let me get some hydrogen peroxide. Let me get some alcohol. Let me get some gauze, some bandages, some ace bandages. Let me get things to wrap. Let me get things to disinfect, just in case, because you never know. And sometimes all you have to do is just stop what's going on until you can get that person to somebody else with more knowledge and greater tools. But you never know how handy it is
the situation
to have a Band-Aid. You never, until you don't have one. Until you don't have a way to do it, then you're like, my gosh, I could have spent 30 seconds at any store within a mile radius, and I would have been able to solve this issue with something that cost me $1.73. It's like, just go get it. So got a ton of medical stuff. I got some big waterproof bins. They seal the tops of them just in case we need to cover anything.
You know, but I mean, to everyone's I mean, we're way off topic, but to everyone's defense, like, you don't think about that stuff until you actually go through it, and then emotionally you internalize that shit,
and you're like, I really should have this. Like, how priceless is it now when you need it? So I think a big part of that, we learned a lot from that hurricane. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, that was an elemental weekend for us. You know, not only were we introduced to on a more personal level, Josh Mullis, who's a character in and of himself, one of the Kitchen Killer critics, Kaylyn Murray, who's awesome in her own right, brilliant, a great friend of Sushii, and then Sushii Savette, which again, just Google Sushii with 2 eyes, Savette, and check it out. And I'm gonna let you formulate your own opinion. But absolutely powerful, very strong, and well-spoken, all 3 of them. They were great roommates, like, for that week that we were together for the hurricane.
Yeah, everyone locked
really
into
cool,
their own like, hey, this is how I can contribute,
this is my role.
and this is how I can contribute, and everything
really
kind of just
we're really
worked
fortunate
together.
to have great people. That Friday night was interesting, man. That was an interesting one. We had a lot of fun. I think I allowed myself to push myself a little further toward towing the line because of our company, because of the host, because we like to push the envelope every now and then.
I don't know what that means.
Like Sushii, Kaylyn, and Josh Mullis are a different echelon of entertainment, and they
Right.
push that PG-13
Okay.
After 9:30,
Right.
all the time.
Get that,
Yeah,
get that
exactly.
line
After 9:30
going.
all the time.
I see.
It's always after
Yeah,
9:30.
so I think that gave me a little more comfortable confidence, because depending on our environment, if there's kids there, of course the humor is going to be a little bit different, of course, but if we're with people like Josh and Sushii and Kaylyn who live and die on this amazing sense of intellect and humor,
Yeah.
I think it kind of allows us a little more of a creative freedom, because we're not going to make people uncomfortable. Like they dove right into it, they loved it, and then they took it up a notch. Like Sushi's comments.
I think she does that without even like realizing.
It's her.
It's just like that's who she is.
Exactly. I think it's part of her
Who
personality.
she is.
Yeah,
That's who she is.
that was a good time, man. We had a really good time that night. The food for that night was pretty much this only sustenance that anybody would need to really live. Like if there was one thing that you would allow yourself on a daily basis to keep you alive during a hurricane.
Yeah, if you're going to be stuck in a building with
Yeah.
no electricity and no water,
this is
what do you need?
Yeah, whatever.
That's what they pulled out of the oven.
I was wrong. I thought
I had a different guess.
Yeah, I had a completely different guess.
What was your guess?
My guess, I kept trying to think of something that was non-perishable right away. Like, okay, the fact that they were going to cook it, I was like, okay, I would imagine something salted and cured. If it's salted and cured, then it'll last. If you salt meat and cure meat, that's how they used to do it.
So something like beef jerky.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So that's what I thought. Something along the lines that they were going to pull out of the oven was something that was salted and cured and able for us to eat over a duration of time without it going bad. Which I would say, in some senses, they achieved that. Alcohol helps.
It wasn't salt
No.
or curing.
What did you think it was?
I thought it was just something that you didn't have to reheat to eat again. Like there's certain dishes like lasagna, for
Yeah.
instance, like
Yeah.
or cold pizza. I don't know. They're like certain leftovers that you can take out of the fridge and not even heat them up,
Sure.
and just eat.
Sure.
So and I learned this that hurricane experience too. There's a 24-hour period from when the power goes off. And normally you're in this mode of saving food or like we need to make this last. No, when the power goes out, you have 24 hours to consume everything in that refrigerator. If not consume it, cook it
Or keep it cold.
or keep it cold
Like
somehow.
another thought was make sure you have coolers. We have styrofoam coolers. We have plastic coolers. We have igloo coolers.
We have probably in excess of 10 coolers.
And I would say so, like especially if you can't consume all the food in the refrigerator in 24 hours. Do your best to do that, of course. But if you can preserve it with ice, buy a bunch of ice. Make sure you're prepped and ready to go. And again, something's got to keep your ice cold, so you're going to have to rotate your ice. Once you're out of ice, then absolutely you need to consume it, or you need to give it away to somebody else that can consume it. Because 24 hours later, don't test it. You don't want to be without power, without water, and sick because you've now eaten something that you probably shouldn't have eaten. So you have to
terrible.
be super, super smart. Health is number one. First aid kit's number one. Perishable foods you want to steer away from or consume as soon as possible.
I actually
Or
have
a lot of alcohol in it.
I actually have a bottle of daily green vitamins for
Yeah.
everyone. A week's worth of that. 1 week is what we always plan for.
We could take what they created and what they pulled out of the oven. We could probably cover it properly, and it would last quite some time without power. I bet we could do that.
I mean,
as long as we kept it covered.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
However, in the company that we had, it would not last very long.
No, it wouldn't last. Agreed. However,
if it
you
needed
to,
and everyone had the self-control,
yes, and there's
to make
for others,
to make it last longer,
it would last.
Then it would
would
last
I
as
agree.
long as we could wait.
Yes.
To consume said
self-control,
product.
self-control, Jim. But it was not salted cured meats.
It was Jell-O shots.
And it was not lasagna or pizza.
There were many different flavors of Jell-O shots,
It was
though.
a tray of multicolored Jell-O shots. that were amazing.
They were strong.
I think that taught me a little bit more about Kaylyn, Sushii, and Josh because they were right at home.
They like to drink. I mean, dude, I get down on Bud Lights.
Yeah, they're very
all
good
the time.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Bud Lights.
yeah.
I drink beer. That's what
true.
I do, among other things. But the vodka, the Jello shots, like the mixed drinks, the liquor, like that's they. I don't do that.
They're
as
professionals.
much.
I want to go ahead and
That's too
say,
much. That's my 20s.
Yeah, they're not amateurs.
I'm way past that.
They're not amateurs. They're definitely they're professionals. They're professional if they need to. Partiers, event planners, and entertainment. If you need a pop-in party, if you have any of those souls at your party, there's going to be a different level of entertainment that exists. It's created by the energy of these three individually, but you put them together.
It's a different level.
Oh my God. And it was really cool because I thought over that duration of time, we worked really well together. We kept each other's spirits up. We acknowledged reality, but we also worked really hard, and we were all super, super considerate of each other.
I think a lot of it was us focusing on what we could control and what was going right.
Sure.
I think between the four of us, like we were all able to remind each other of like, hey.
And we tried to stay out of each other's way. You know, I think that was a big part of it too. Like we allowed everybody to have their own space. You know, because it was so
Don't
hot.
touch me.
It was so hot, and I remember
Don't breathe on me.
The windows open every day and all day
so
long and actually I think we tried to close them during the day because it was so hot outside, but at night we would open up all the windows. We had no power, we had ice, we had water, we had food. They were great. You know, we ate every day. Granted, it wasn't the most luxuries of choices, but we had food.
We were eating,
which was awesome. We were really fortunate because at the time, right after the hurricane had come through, and even though we were out of power, a lot of places around us had power, so we could go to stores, we could get things. I think we actually went to a crafting location. We went to Harbor Freight. I went to Harbor Freight while the power was out. Were you with me?
Yeah, there was a guy escorting us around with a flashlight.
Yep.
That's right.
How awesome was that? So we go to
So y'all need some stuff?
Like Harbor Freight was badass, man, and a huge shout out. I didn't think that was going to happen. So we were driving around. We went to Harbor Freight. We didn't know, but the power was out there as well, and it had just gone out because they're a huge store. You know, they have all of these generators, all of these backup generators, but it was a perfect storm. Everything had just failed. We needed some stuff. We needed it from there. And not only were they open, but they had a personal escort with a flashlight to get us we needed to know what we wanted. That's what it was. What are you guys here for?
You're not getting in the store. Like the power was out, so they can't watch anybody. So they had to escort people in there.
The store. Like when you walked in there, they asked you, "What are you here to buy?" Like we can't allow you to just walk around the store. But
we don't.
If you knew what you wanted, they would take you right to it. You would look at it. You'd pick it up. You'd bring it back. They had the old school credit card swipers. The ching 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 ching.
Oh my God.
They were taking cash, of course.
We don't need any undercover looters in here.
But super cool, man. So that was exactly. They were really nice, and it was interesting. The roads are still soaking wet after a hurricane comes through, and during the hurricane you kind of expect these things to happen, and it's cool. The pressure is low, the temperature is low, it's super breezy, it's not 90 billion degrees outside because it's a hurricane. So you're getting 45, 55, 65 mile an hour winds, so you're not hot. Like, you're cool. You go outside and you're like, wow, because it's a low pressure. It's just so cold. But once the hurricane passes you and there's no power and the sun comes out, everything is so wet. It's just so
and humid
core.
And just like you don't even want your skin to touch your other skin.
Oh man, like
it's
a normal
terrible.
Florida shower hits the surface and the sun dries it up fairly quickly. So it's going to be pretty humid for a shorter period of time. But the hurricane saturated and soaked everything. And it was intense, and it took the sun a lot longer to dry all that up. So it was super humid every day, super hot. I think the hottest it got in the house was 91 degrees.
91
inside the house.
It was actually 91 when we did the was it the Monday video the following Monday.
Oh,
or the
table.
Wednesday video, or
At
the Wednesday
ta-
video,
oh,
the
yeah,
candle
that's
lit.
right. Yeah.
There had to have been 2 that we did without power, because we were without power that entire week.
Yeah, I think we traveled. I think we might have gone somewhere. I think I remember going to Dennis the Mad Scientist has hosted us a couple different times.
Maybe that's chapter 5.
You know that. Oh man, who knows? It might be.
It is.
It might be, baby. But that was a really good one, man. I really liked that show. We had a really good time. I'm glad it was those people. I'm really glad that everybody got along. The Jello shots were just funny. They were hilarious. The song.
We didn't even. I don't even think we practiced that song before we played it.
I think we talked
True
about
Colors
it,
by Phil Collins.
I think we talked about it moments before, and Cyndi Lauper, I believe, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper, I think, did it first.
Covered it.
Phil Collins covered it.
He killed it. Phil Collins killed it, man.
Correcting
I've got that album. Yeah.
I see your true color. Oh, that's Aaron Neville. Sorry.
Aaron Neville, take note. If you haven't covered that song, that is what it could sound like.
It sounds just like true color.
That's why I love you. Oh man, what a good show! Shout out to Josh, Sushii, Kaylyn for the Jello shots. We had a really good time. Bree Lambert, Nick Volk. We had a great time, man. Thank you guys for coming by. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. It was an interesting.
Oh yeah.
one. We learned a lot about ourselves. We learned a lot about our whole crew, which is really good. And that was, again, that we were just getting started, man. That was show number 4. You know, it's so cool to be the people that we had to thank during the show were the people that were in the feed. That's who we thanked. We thanked Sushii for being there, Kaylyn to be there, Josh for being there, Bree and Nick for being there, and everybody in the feed that was helping us. And now it's so cool to be able to look down at a list.
Man, how many people do we have to thank now?
Of these people that are a huge part of it. Shelley Wheeler, Jen Logan, right there, right off the top.
Well,
you know, like those 2 teammates, they didn't, when this show was going on, we didn't know Jen, we didn't know Shelley. You know, and they brought so much to it.
And that was 2 years ago today.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly right. Today. This is the 2-day anniversary of that show.
2 years
the
today.
Exact same date. Like 9/8/2019. Here we are. 9/8/2017.
That's right.
That's what we were experiencing. That's why Space Coast Comic-Con was canceled. This is the weekend of Space Coast Comic-Con. Right now, we're supposed to be at Space Coast Comic-Con.
And
Sunday,
we're not.
The last day, the last wrap up. Hurricane Dorian. Thanks for being a hurricane. I will say this: I appreciate the fact that you decided to not crush through the center of an entire state.
Thanks for destroying the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Right? And
Well, I mean, speaking of weather, it didn't affect us
a little bit of rain,
at all.
little bit of
At all.
We got some outer flickers of bands, and that's it.
And I caught myself.
Yeah.
I was like, man, this is a dumb hurricane. I'm like, don't you say that.
Yeah. Hurricane Dorian
Talk
can hear you.
that mess.
Don't you talk that mess. Don't you bring that down on me,
Billy,
Ricky Bobby.
Billy, Sally, Job, handsome.
Don't you bring that down on me, Ricky Bobby. Michael Clark Duncan, man. I love that movie. It's so much fun. So yes, a huge shout out to all of our sponsors, Lakeland Barbecue, Joel Van out of Polk County, right here, baby. We actually put our own KitchenKillaz logo on there, but this is the Lakeland Barbecue Company's story. Joel has given us permission to use this. We wanted to envision a goal of having our own KitchenKillaz brand barbecue sauce, so we made one. And thank you, Joel Van, for allowing us to do that. He also provides us with this awesome rub. You can actually get these at the live shows on Friday if you come to a show. We try to make sure that we give somebody a lucky somebody. Sometimes the host.
You
sometimes
know what?
they still got. Sometimes they got some. Sometimes they need more. They're like, I already killed the first bottle you guys gave me. Can I get a
Since you're here.
I mean,
So we have another sponsor that we never talk about, but I just
Never.
realized is
Oh,
a sponsor.
who do we got? Who do
and
we
has
got?
been a sponsor for quite some time
2
now.
years.
Not 2 years. Since I got my new guitar.
Oh yeah. Who's that?
Mr. Brian Demeter.
Yeah.
Every
Oh,
single
yeah.
sticker on my guitar, he has provided.
There it is.
Good man.
Deucey.
Really happy about that.
So you named the guitar Deucey,
Yeah. The first one was the Green Medusa.
but you're not naming the stickers. You just named the
No,
guitar,
just
and
the
then
guitar.
you're decorating the guitar with the stickers.
Yeah.
All Brian Demeter art.
All Brian Demeter
All
art.
Brian Demeter. Yeah, Brian Demeter is awesome, man. Yeah.
The art on my guitar is sponsored by Brian Demeter.
Joel Van creating amazingness. Brian Demeter, awesome artist, creating these awesome stickers right back here.
And my logo.
The great Commodore's guitar, which is super, super cool.
Are we talking about
Yeah, it's Commodore's logo.
Both
looking super sweet, man.
the logo? Yep.
I mean, just I like his
just
style.
mine.
He's got great style.
Just my logo.
And speaking of art, Josh Bauer art, super cool dude. Created this right here, and this right here, and this right here, and he's in boop, boop, boop. That's him right there. Tickle, tickle, Josh. I wonder if you can
Right in
feel
that
this.
picture there.
It's like a voodoo picture.
A little picture.
Okay. Yeah, man, a huge shout out to Josh Bauer. Such a cool dude. Be sure to check him out on all the Josh Bauer, all the social media, all that other good stuff. Yeah. Merchroom.com, Jimmy and Cody, they were our hosts last week. We were there last Friday. Jimody is what I like to call them, which is
I wonder
awesome.
if they like that name or don't.
Doesn't matter. Congratulations.
It's happening.
It is. You're like Brangelina, like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It was like
Brangelina.
Yeah, they had like a name that the community, the society, like
That's
the entertainment
cute.
world had given them. So Jimody. That actually came from my mom calling them Jody. Did you? And I was like, you mean Jimmy and Cody? She's like, yes, Cody. I meant to say Cody. I'm like, you combine the two. She's like, I did. And I was like, let me think about that. So if we took both names, Jimmy and Cody, and we combine them, you can take half of one, and Codimmy would be Cody and Jimmy.
Codimmy.
Or Jimody would be Jimmy and Cody.
Jimody just sounds funner.
Yeah, bro, it's fun. It's fun, man. So a huge
Cool.
shout out to Jimmy and Cody for Merchroom.com for all
They've
your
been super
merchandise
supportive
needs.
since day one.
Yeah, and they're great, man. They host our KitchenKillaz website. They've hosted my continually. They've hosted my BillyFloyd.com website for over 15 years. They hosted Smiley McGee's website. They hosted Black in the Mind's website. Every musical project I've been a part of, they've hosted it. They create websites. They've helped us with merchandising and designs and logo design. Jimmy and Cody are awesome, man. Merchroom.com. If you're looking for branding, if you have a brand, if you're looking for design help, reach out to them. If you're looking to create merchandise, to create shirts, to create hoodies, the great Commodore has a hoodie from Merchroom.com, a KitchenKillaz hoodie from Merchroom.com. We have coffee
I love it.
From what I understand, we have yoga pants. I didn't know this.
Do we?
Yeah. We have yoga pants on Merchroom.com.
We should get some so that we can model them.
That's like Captain America's ass.
For
That's
the
American ass right there.
I'll start working out.
Boom, baby.
It's no problem.
So huge shout out to Jimmy and Cody, Merchroom.com. Brian Lasagna, the Flawless Lasagna, Brian Line Imagery, awesome dude. Software Brand Apparel out of California, Dale Dibbles, making it soft, making it smooth, making it comfy, baby. Castledor Studios, Zach and Dr. Alyssa Rose. We were there just yesterday. Again, such great people. Check out Castledor Studios all over social media, castledorstudio.com. Check it out. And be sure to follow Conflicting Motive. That is Zach Cabral, the owner and operator of Castledor Studio, his band. Awesome, great musician, phenomenal performer.
Good energy throughout.
Yeah, man, most certainly.
Yeah.
Catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every Monday at 7:05, Wednesday at 7:05, Friday at 9:05.
On Facebook Live.
Yeah, the Commodore's got some awesome social media, some really great stuff that he's working on. You want to tell him about Instagram? Tell him what's going on?
Yeah, a couple things you can see on Instagram. You want to see us perform any one of our originals live? We're getting all of those originals up there, so you can just, if you want to hear Dressing Collide for some reason,
right?
IGTV.
No, what's the difference? So we have the stories, we have the thread, and we have IGTV.
Yeah.
And that's all on Instagram.
Instagram thread is the posts that we put up and hashtags and all that stuff, and you can comment and stuff. Story is just stuff you scroll through, quick little videos and stuff you can look at.
Gotcha.
It's not all KitchenKillaz related. Sometimes it's just stuff that we're passionate about or we think looks cool, or a nice little scenery that might help you just breathe a little bit.
Like the
so then there's IGTV if you want to hear
videos,
one of our, if you want to hear one of these teasers, you can see an IGTV.
You can hear this teaser right here when you're
IGTV?
listening for these teasers that exist, because this right now is a teaser that you're listening to right now. It's a teaser that we're actually talking about you listening to.
It could be on YouTube too.
Teaser.
All the teasers are on YouTube too.
Now you're on YouTube. Congratulations.
Oh boy.
Remember, we also do the same thing over at Instagram on our IGTV. And for you IGTV people, jump over to YouTube, because there's more of these teasers that we've already teased previous teasely. Back then. Go check them out. Right there. And that's Josh Bauer. Boop, 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 boop.
There's also a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of
Some BTS.
just fun little selfies.
Fun selfies.
Check it out.
Some good stuff, man. Absolutely. YouTube as well, youtube.com/KitchenKillaz. Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. We're pushing it. Check out TikTok. We just started building that one, so there's not a ton of content up right there, but we are building it, so you can kind of grow with us. You can make suggestions, get in touch with us. TikTok's an awesome platform. We got some great friends on TikTok. Michael Quinn from Table Talk is on TikTok.
Kyle Nunez.
Elizabeth Skye, the daughter of the mad scientist. She is on TikTok as well. Colin Nunez, the bad from Trinidad. He is on TikTok as well. We got a lot of good friends.
Gary
V. A lot of family. Oh, yeah.
He's our friend.
Gary V. January 3rd. January 3rd, Gary V. Listen.
We want Gary V.
Listen, bro.
In this kitchen.
Right here. I was
January
listening.
3rd.
We were listening to a video yesterday, and I heard you say. Actually, we heard you say. I just needed to bring it up immediately. You had agreed to be the interview on the 101st podcast of somebody that was at one of your events and had asked you to be a guest on her podcast. You said, if you get your podcast started, I'll be guest on episode 101.
How many episodes do we have?
I'm going to have to refer to Shelley Wheeler for that one.
700.
If you want to consider the Monday an episode, the Wednesday an episode, and the Friday an episode, which I would imagine they're all shows and podcasts, 3 per week.
How many live videos?
Right, so let's just keep it simple. 3 per week for 50 weeks is how many?
150.
And then we had 2 more weeks on top of that, so 156 per year. If we've done this for 2 years, so we're at what, 362? 156 and 156. What is that?
312.
312 works. I love 300. It's one more than 311.
7,463.
156 times
is
2.
how many kitchens we've not been in.
Oh man, oh that's funny. So yeah, dudes, that's what's going on. That was a lot of fun.
Wow, yeah. That was a good little combo there.
Yeah, I think it was just. I love seeing, and I really like the fact that we take into consideration that I've always looked at every step as a baby step, no matter how big it is, no matter how huge the experience is, or who we're talking to.
Incremental
it's
progress.
Just a baby step. Yeah, man, baby steps. Just keep going, baby. Check out the Kitchenkillaz. Also, check out the Kitchen Chronicles. Super cool, man. Today was Volume 1, Chapter 4. That was Hurricane.
Sushii and Kaylyn and Josh. Hurricane Homecoming.
September 8th, 2017.
Oh, man.
Good times. The meal
So
of the day
much alcohol.
was shots.
It was alcohol.
This song was
the meal of
True
the week
Colors.
was alcohol.
And then our guests were Kaylyn,
Granola.
Sushii, Josh Mullis, Bree Lambert, also known as Anime Bree, and Nick Volk. So huge shout out to you guys. Keep in touch, man. My name is Willie Foley. That's
The Commodore.
And this is the Kitchen Chronicles. Talk to you guys soon.